pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And we have to have our microphones on.
You should.
Yeah, turn them on. This should pick up some of it, but it just helps amplify you guys.
You can get roll call, Jenny?
Yep. Lois Tiley. Here. Diana Coots.
Here.
Christine Newman.
Here.
Richard Horner.
Here.
Diane Dennis.
Here.
Jim McPhail.
Here.
Sarah Tiley.
Here.
Okay. Are there any adjustments to the agenda?
I'm
We-
gonna adjust. Okay, I have one, okay? I think we need to move, your contract negotiations under 9B down beyond the closed session, where we have 11. Maybe put it as 11A or something, 11A or B. Because that's the way we've always done it before.
Well, that makes sense.
Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Where are you gonna put it?
Under 11, XI,
Just
A.
A?
yeah.
We'll cover it, you're in the closed session.
Okay, got it. Well, we'll come out of the closed
Yeah,
session.
and then discuss
Yeah.
it,
And do it after that?
yeah.
Does that have to be done in front of the public? Because
Yes.
it's contract?
Yes.
Just wondered. Thank
Okay.
you. Are there any other changes? If not, hear a motion to accept the agenda as presented? Or has changed, as amended?
So moved.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Any comments?
I just have some announcements I'd like to go over, just to reiterate, I believe we spoke on this before, but we do have a Parks and Rec special event coming up, with a permit for Rebel Magnolia, a fall flea event with local vendors on, September 19th, Saturday, from I believe 10 to 4. And, this document was created a few years ago, and it was, I think, $300, as a fee and $300 security deposit, and I didn't know what to do, so I said $500 and a $300 deposit, and they're going to do that, and they're bringing in their own porter johns, they're paying for that, and we have a meeting Friday at 9 o'clock to solidify where they're gonna be exactly, how people are gonna park, and kinda get all those details figured out before it, so.
Are they demanding masks and,
They are,
okay,
and I think they're selling them too, as a, just in
Okay.
case. And then we also have we'll talk about that later, but I just wanted to make sure.
by the way, I've heard this is a huge event.
I did too, I don't know enough about it.
I don't know anything about it. My daughter just said, oh my goodness, she said, there's a lot of
I
people.
did hear, you know, Alex Chaselski's son makes copper pictures and he
I mean,
sells
this is a
his,
high-class flea market,
yeah, he sells his stuff there. I mean,
Yeah.
it's expensive.
yes.
And they have all kinds of pictures and artsy crafts things, but
On average,
big money.
the local businesses see about a $700 increase in their revenue on the day that this flea market happens, which I thought they go across the street to the alley, they can come down to the bars and restaurants, they can, and eat, and I think this will be huge for us to kinda help them, as they were shut down for most of COVID.
Isn't that the same day as the thing uptown?
No.
No, it's
Nope.
a different day?
We've got a few days, we've got 2 Saturdays in a row and a Friday, October 3rd, is that a Saturday as well?
It's a Saturday.
So 3 Saturdays in a row will be events in town. So that should all help, they should help out, so. And the second thing I just wanted, to talk about, the meeting with Roger Collin, I just wanna make sure that everybody saw his Charitable Remainder Trust Foundation. It was just an initial, I don't know a dollar's amount, what he's thinking about, I don't know his time frame, if he's sick or anything like that. We were just touching base, I mentioned some of the things that we were looking at long-term. I brought Don in because of future township supervisor, he lives in the township, I thought that would be a common, polite courtesy to him. And, so just very initial, not sure what's gonna come of it, if anything, but, I hope you saw that, and I'm guessing he wants to leave some trees after he's gone for a few years, I'm not sure. But, sounds like they wanna do a lot of good things for the village upon passing, so. Just wanna talk about that, we'll call it good. And I believe Neil was gonna call in. We're having some login issues. So. That's
There's
all.
also a lot of background noise somewhere happening.
I
Okay.
don't think it's here.
We can
Okay.
proceed.
No Spicer report tonight then?
Well, Neil was gonna call in, John got called out at the last minute.
Okay.
Kinda talk about a little bit. The tubes are coming on Friday, and the project groundbreaking is on Monday. Don was thinking to alleviate one of our concerns with Union Court, and shutting them off from water for a few days, because you have to wait for the water test to come back, so it'd be at least 3 days. We're
Well,
thinking,
if we dewater the main, they couldn't drink it till the back T sample come back, negative, but.
and that would devastate that area, particularly that building, so.
But they can still use the bathroom and stuff,
They
right?
can wash and cook with
They
it,
just
Yeah.
can't drink. So we were thinking that tomorrow, about 11 o'clock PM, that DPW, we called over to Chris today and let her know that we're thinking about going at 11 o'clock tomorrow.
no, it's actually midnight tonight,
Midnight tonight?
yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
got vacation days to use up on Fridays, I don't wanna miss those.
No,
So midnight tonight, and we'll shut off their water hopefully till at least 2, 3 o'clock.
Hopefully just a couple hours to do some, if we can get, there's an older valve we gotta repair down there, if we can get that fixed tonight, they will not be shut down again during the whole project.
Okay,
We can isolate them then from everything, so. And Eric did move in all of his equipment today,
you did, okay,
and Spicer was out there staking the project, so.
that's good.
So it starts tonight technically, so that's
Digging
exciting.
starts Monday, so.
But that's exciting.
Yeah.
And then I did begin the USDA rural development application. I spoke with Troy from RD today, Paula's been in regular contact, Neil was out yesterday to kind of look at the site, and then we went over what we're gonna do, and we're thinking about going big. You know, originally we're talking 2.5 for the first phase, and then 4.75 for both phases. Well, it looks like it's gonna be 5.2 for both. That's conservative numbers from Spicer, and we're gonna go after it, and try to knock out the entire town almost in one shot. Our chances are looking good. We ran the numbers, we used John Kaiser's utility rate chart this morning, and our numbers look good enough to go after the whole project, so kind of
How does
exciting.
2 and 4 become 5?
Well, they inflated the numbers so that we come in under, I'm guessing.
Oh, they always do,
Yeah.
you're right.
So, they went big on all the projects, from this street to this street, all the way down, so 5.2, almost 5.25 million, almost, so. We got that set up, we got the bond, we gotta redo the bond council because the number I originally gave them was 4.75, so we'll help that. What else? The application started, we got all the authentications, I got John and Neil on board today, so that they can go in and look at what I'm doing, to upload the preliminary engineering report. We're moving.
Do you know what the interest rate is on that?
I don't, we're thinking it's gonna be 1.3.
Okay,
So we did get the letter from Eagle to try to help, not ding us per se that we're doing anything wrong, but this is a health and sanitary issue. So it's not, so we can get the poverty
okay,
area rate.
Yeah, it was a well-written letter on Eagle's part, that we're not in violation, but they're trying to get over the point that we got all the system and we need to do
Yep.
something.
okay,
And, I think Hart got the same feeling, the gal from USDA, the more we do, the more they can help us, and possibly in a grant.
so they don't wanna mess around with little tiny ones,
They can provide more help on a loan grant.
okay,
Is that what you got?
That's what I got. She
She's
got,
real helpful.
Yeah.
okay,
So we've got them all on the same page, and they're all kind of watching what we do to make sure we do it exactly the way they want it when they review it to see if it gets approved. So with them on our team, it's been very helpful, and I think we have a great shot.
Okay. I think it sounds good.
Well, other than that, I don't think they were gonna talk about too much else.
I mean, I guess my feeling is that if we could get the whole 5 million done, that would be such a huge accomplishment for this village and the council. It would really make a heck of a difference in this village.
I think it'll be a huge relief. I mean, if we can do this at once, that'd be great.
I mean,
That's a
we're
lot of
gonna
work
go-
redoing
We're gonna
this
go
and
through
going
heck
over
for a
it.
summer that's done, but you know, in
Yeah.
the long term, it'll be,
Oh, definitely.
I won't cringe every time I hear sirens. Nothing against them.
Jeez. Well, it would be a feather in your cap, you know.
That's
right-
right, no, it's.
Get close to retirement right off in the sunset on that
It would be
project.
the councils, cause I tell you, me and Hart were talking, it just,
Such a difference.
I know, but it would
It has
just,
been needed to be done for so long.
it would be such a huge improvement.
Yeah.
It's most-
I mean, we had streets we wouldn't pave because of the water lines under them might break if we put something heavy on them. You can't live like that, that's. And it'll take care of it for as long as we care.
As I heard an old boss say, the night shift can worry about the rest.
Yeah.
We won't be around and worry about it. So, it's exciting, it really is.
We got our caps, we got Troy from RD, we've got Paula from RD, and then Spicer. That's,
And if it comes to fruition, you guys, it's really something you can be really proud of, really, I mean, it's.
Yep. It is, it's, honest to God, it's the only way you can get these grants, is to have these guys find the people that can help you get the grants. You can't just blindly write these things and hope for the best. I used to send my papers down to Lansing and they'd correct them with red ink and send them back and I'd rewrite it. I got them. It worked.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of us, some old acquaintances from USDA that has moved up the food chain that will
Yeah,
remember a few of us here, so. Not that that matters, but it might.
it does. All that stuff matters. And we've handled grants well before. They like that too.
I see here it says Eric Construction will finish around mid-October, take a month. Is that cutting it close to pave that road then? Or will they still pave?
They can usually go up the first frost, usually,
Yeah.
usually deer season, usually it's.
Okay. Hopefully they'll be done by mid-October.
Like a true man. Deer season.
Deer season.
Typically, that's your construction crews.
Would that be archery or gun?
Gun.
That's typically the gun.
Okay.
I believe they did this parking lot in November last year, and so we were hoping to do it a little sooner, but we think they need those roads and this phase 2 of this parking lot around first week in November.
I remember them saying this is the last day we're going to pave, and they did that, so.
Okay, we're all set with the space engineering report? No other questions? If not, if so, let's move on to the council minutes from August 12th. Are there any questions or changes or anything? If not, do I hear a motion to accept them?
I'll make a motion to accept the
Approve.
council minutes as presented,
You have to approve those. To approve them.
to approve them. Oh, did I say accept? I'm sorry, approve.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Minutes are approved and filed.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Planning Commission for August 20th. Any questions on that?
What did you decide about the marijuana stuff?
We're going to study it.
Okay,
We said we need to move very slowly and surely on that. We
Yeah.
need to check on experience of other places. Hart's gonna get us some ordinances, see what other people have drafted, and it's just going to be, at this point, talking about it, getting a lot of input. Basically enough, Mr. Wood on the planning commission has helped with the construction of some of those places. And then Chris Savage has a lot of experience with her medical situation, so we thought we'd listen to their input too.
Do I hear a motion to
Accept
accept
and file.
and file?
Wait a minute, I have one more little question, excuse me. Discussing the possible rental inspection ordinance, are they really gonna try to do that again?
Scott was looking at it, he'd like to, but I don't think he's moving too quickly on it.
Okay,
See, that shouldn't even have been in that book, because we decided not to put it in there, and it made it in the book.
okay,
Because of experience before, but anyway, so, but I think it would be good for, as long as we're gonna hire a professional planner to come in and help us with our ordinances, to put it, to talk about it at that time.
okay,
That's my suggestion.
I second.
You second that?
Yep.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are accepted and filed. Shoot. Downtown Development Authority, September 4th meeting.
I'll just say we appointed Lori Wiley, to replace Bob Burns. She's the State Bank Assistant Community Office Manager. She lives and works in St. Charles. She has a passion for the village. She's been on the Lions Club for 2 years and is very helpful in a lot of their events, so
Okay.
it'll be a new person to join, so she's excited.
Now, the Hometown Days event, are they pushing that or is someone else? It's two girls.
It was, the two ladies were pushing it, and they supported it, the DDA supported their efforts.
Okay,
And then in your packet, we'll talk about this a little later, but you saw
Okay.
that a lot of people are supporting getting people here. I've been working on this morning with this Allison Brady. She wants to redo the boulevard. She's wants to pull out all the dead stuff and plant her own flowers for the event. And I said, heck yeah, go for it. Let me know if you need any help. So they're pushing it, and a lot of people are signing up. I think that Rebel Magnolia is coming again, and she has most of the businesses right down there, all supporting people coming and shopping and being there, so.
Good.
Without the Lions Club, the Christmas parade, we're kind of, supplementing these as the events.
Well, then what is the event in between October 3rd and September 19th? What's the,
We're gonna do another Saturday's Farmers Market.
okay.
okay.
They had a great turnout, the first time. I believe the produce gentleman sold over $600 worth of produce.
Ooh, it's looked really good, I'll say. Coming home Tuesday, I saw where you canceled it and I thought, it's the first time I'm gonna be here.
It was a lot better, it's getting better all the time, but it was
It
really
certainly
good
looks
this year.
much better.
It's going well. The weather was a little bit on Tuesday. Part of it, I don't think Shelley could make it in time, so we kinda just thought it'd be better off.
Okay.
Do you want a motion to accept and file the DDA minutes?
Yes, for September 4th.
I make it.
Do I have a-
I'll support.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All set. Payment of claims.
I didn't have any questions. Anybody else?
Anybody else have any
I
questions?
did have a remark on how much it cost us to cancel.
Okay, that was, cause I marked something. I think-
$750 to cancel the arbitration fee?
Yeah, yep, he split it, so
Wow.
that arbitrator gets a good chunk for his time in reading and doing all his research.
Okay,
How much would it have cost us if it went forward?
I believe it would've been, he would've got the same
Same
amount.
so he got paid.
He just gets paid, whether you go or you get
Do they
That's
need
the only
other
thing I
people to
know.
do that job?
Not bad.
I'll make a motion to approve the payment of claims in the amount of $80,065.86.
Support?
Yes. Yes.
Those? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. New business. The fiscal year 19 and 20 audit.
I did not have time to look up how much we paid for this last year. Does anybody remember?
Hey, Ken, it's Hart from the Village of St. Charles, how are you?
We approved it? Okay. All right, that's
Good. We are ready for you, I'm gonna try to maybe find a microphone, I'm guessing, to try to get you so that.
Here's one.
Tell me when you're ready there, or sounds good.
We're ready.
Okay, sounding okay? Everybody here okay?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Great, okay, well, it's nice to be with you tonight, and I'm going to be talking tonight about the audit for the fiscal year ended March 20. Okay, the audit this year went very smooth. We got excellent help from the staff as usual. And for no problems or difficulties or differences encountered. Okay? The audit, now if you have the booklet there with you, I'll refer to some of those pages there. The audit report on page 1 is an unmodified report, which is the best possible again this year. Basically, it says that these financial statements are fairly presented in all material respects in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. Okay, so we have no exception to that statement. I'll just briefly go over a few pages here with you. On page 7, okay, page 7 is part of that management discussion and analysis. Here you see a condensed statement of activities with comparisons to the prior year. We noticed that governmental revenues for the year are up. That's a good trend. About 88,000 for the year. Property taxes accounted for about 38,000 of that increase. It appears that the valuations had gone up. The village millage rate of 15% was the same as the prior year, as it has been for a while. The state grant revenue was up about 35,000, so the state's doing better too. We note that governmental expenditures were up about 110,000, and we know that we saw that the village had expended about 130,000 on the tank cleanup project, so that accounts for that. We also noticed that public safety expenses, the total there was down about 159,000. It shows there on page 7. Okay, so moving ahead to page 10. The statement of net position here reports assets and liabilities on a full accrual basis of accounting, as you know, and therefore it includes the capital assets and it includes long-term debt and obligations like pension and OPEB. And in this basis of accounting, the village reports a deficit position, net position unrestricted under the governmental activities. You see it there. It's the deficit amount is $1,684,953. Basically, what that means is when that pension OPEB is included in there now, that it's where it's been, and now it's been like that for a few years now. OPEB came on board last year. there as a liability on there. Pension's been on for a while. But that's why there's a deficit. The thing about the pension and the OPEB those are not current liabilities, so that should be considered in there, okay? You don't have a problem with paying those obligations. It's gonna take a long time to get them paid. Hopefully there's no problem paying it. On page 13, here you see the governmental funds balance sheet. Now this is prepared on a modified accrual basis of accounting, which means there's no capital assets or long-term debt. The focus here is only on current available resources. When we talk about funds, fund accounting, that's how your budget is arranged and prepared, is on a fund accounting basis, which is really just a modified accrual basis, okay? On this basis of accounting, there's no deficits showing at all. All the funds are in good shape in terms of fund balance. The fund balance is your primary indicator of health. The general fund, for example, has a good fund balance amount at $821,956. You see that in the first column towards the bottom. That level of fund balance equates to about 80% of your annual general fund expenditure budget. So 80% is considered good, very good, okay? And then moving that on to page 15. Here, page 15 is a continuation of governmental funds financial statement. It's the statement of revenue, expenditures, and changes in fund balances. Here we see that the general fund in the first column there had revenues of approximately $1,036,000. Expenditures were approximately $1,040,000. Bottom line is the general fund balance only went down by $345. The village did a very good job of matching its available revenues and expenditures for the year. Okay. The municipal street fund there, you see that over in the third column, was able to add another $80,000 approximately to its fund balance from the tax levy, that street levy. So now you've got that balance built up to approximately $201,000. That's for the streets. Okay, so that's good there. And then moving ahead to page 20. Here, we want to talk a little bit about the enterprise funds, sewer and water. Here, this is a cash flow statement for those funds. It reports that the water fund cash balance last year went down about $100,000. You see, it shows a decrease in cash of $99,887. The reason for that, it appears that there just were more expenses in the water fund for payroll and for contracted services. Okay. Let's see, with this situation, I got my other phone ringing, but that's okay. Page 19 of the report had shown that there was an operating loss for the water fund of about $132,000 for the year. So the result for the water fund wasn't so good, and that explains why you had the $100,000 decrease in cash balance. Now the water fund is showing a deficit over on the balance sheet on page, it shows up on page 18 of the report. The water fund, has plenty of, it has a lot of cash, but the water fund also has to absorb a substantial amount of that OPEB and pension liability. There's $423,000 of that liability. So the water fund ended the year with a deficit, unrestricted net position of $6,558. So whenever you see a deficit in a fund like that, that's something to be aware of and to be concerned with, to try to get that built up so you don't show a deficit, okay? So whatever you can do to look at that situation and see what can be done. Okay, so like I said, the business type funds have sizable balances between between sewer and water. There's $955,000 in cash, but those funds also have a liability on the books of about $820,000 for that OPEB and pension. So that's the situation. Okay. And then moving ahead, just I think on the last item here, I wanted to mention on page 30. Here you see there's a footnote number 2 there. It's a requirement that we talk about the budget. If there are expenditures in excess of the budget amount, then we have to disclose that here. And in that footnote number 2, you can see there were some budget variances. It's not unusual that you have budget variances, small amounts time and again, but now there are a couple of them here that are sizable. For example, there was in the general fund capital outlay category, you had budgeted $45,000, but then the actual expenditures came in at about $63,000. You can see the variance was $18,000. So with these variances being reported here, the state of Michigan, when they get the report, they will likely send the village a letter, an inquiry, to find out, the reason for those variances, and then what you're going to do about it in the future. So if you get such a letter, that's not unusual either. We have a lot of clients that get that, and you simply give them the reasons and the explanation and your future plans, and that should take care of it. If you need help with that, just let me know. So in conclusion, I thank you for the opportunity to again work as village auditor, and I welcome your comments and your questions.
These overages,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Hi.
Thought I recognized your voice. You bet.
I think we probably already know why these numbers are here. Should we have, in our last, like just before the end of the year, should we have put those in there as a amendment?
Yes, you should.
Yeah,
And,
okay.
Yeah. Right at the end, it's,
So
the
it's
state,
best
they'll
if
say,
we-
well, they don't want people making budget amendments after year end.
Right, but just before you can.
Yeah, before the year end, try to get the budget amendments in there. Sometimes it's hard to project out, but if you
Okay.
do it right at the end, yeah.
Well,
really
these numbers, we probably know exactly what these numbers are. So
Uh-huh,
we should have
yeah.
made an amendment to
Yeah.
get them in their right places.
Yeah, you could have,
Yeah.
that would be, your manager, clerk, treasurer, they've got the bookkeeping there and all that. They could bring all that to your attention there.
Yeah, and the
Right,
other thing that would help that would be when we make these decisions to pave the front parking lot, it
Yeah.
should be in the form of an amendment at that time.
Right.
And then it would just be taken care of. You can do it
Yeah.
that way too, right?
Yes, you're right,
Okay.
definitely. Yeah, you wanna say, look, we're gonna, while we're doing this, approving that, we're also amending our budget or,
Yeah.
whatever the proper, procedure is, legal to do a budget amendment. Just do those. And then when it's audit time, we just need to see the final, we need the original budget, and then we wanna see the final amended budget.
Right.
after all those changes have been made, and then we're good to go on that,
Okay.
yeah.
And the other, did you talk to him at all about the water project?
Yes, I did.
Okay. I guess that's all the questions I have. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, Chris.
Anybody else?
No other questions? We'd like to thank you very much for all your help with this,
Okay.
besides getting paid for it.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I'm sure you went out of your way to give us a very good job, so.
No, we did a very good job. He just found it.
Oh.
You guys you've always done a good
Thank
job out there, we appreciate that.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you very much.
Thanks,
Yeah, I look
Ken.
forward to seeing you hard next year, maybe we can get out there.
Yes, that'd be nice.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Okay.
Ken.
okay, good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
I'd ask you to turn to page 45. This is net pension liability and what some of the changes we've been making over the years and what we did last year. And the planned fiduciary net position as percentage of total pension liability. It went from 59.08% funded to 63.79, and that gets us out of the state's below 60 headlights. So
Good.
positive things are happening.
So are you gonna have to, refigure where you're taking the money from to get it out of that water fund?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
We're gonna have to be creative in the pension liability.
Okay,
And maybe that's why Matt did it the way he did, but then at the same time, Darcy's the one that told us to pull it out and do it that way, so I'll talk with Ken, but
well, but if we're going for a loan and a
yeah,
grant,
we gotta
then
get that, yeah,
you have to get that fixed.
yes, yep. Gonna have to be really creative.
Jenny, the rest of it is entirely up to you. You've gotta figure out where we've moved money around and then do that final amendment
Yep,
to put it where we put it.
And like you said, you probably know, we look at last year, we know exactly where those dollars went.
Well, I'm sure it was the paving, we decided to do that after the budget was passed. I mean, you can find it,
Oh,
those
yeah.
are big numbers, you can find
Oh, yeah.
those. Yeah,
And some of it's paying free managers throughout the year, you know, obviously the church,
Yeah.
some of that, but,
yeah,
yep. Well, we know where it is.
okay.
And yeah, just as a reminder, you can look at your account balance report to see where we are compared to where he said we were. So a lot of those funds we're looking a lot better already, so.
Yes, and the police, obviously we ended up paying less until we do the final
Correct.
thing.
That should be in a few weeks.
And that'll show up in this year.
Yep.
So we're all set with the audit? Let's move on to the item C, tree proposal.
Reached out to Acorn and several others. This is the tree that's in Cal Mead's yard, that they left a little higher than should have. So this is the only company that would take it on, and they just have to cut, and then we'll clean up the rest, and then we'll have them come in and grind the stump.
Okay.
I reached out to people in Shiawassee County, everybody is just swamped. They're working.
And we did reach out to 3 companies, 2 of them one didn't even have the time, and the other one turned us down.
Who is Thurston Logging in St. Charles?
That's,
Travis Thurston.
Travis.
Travis.
Yeah.
I couldn't read the thing.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think 500 is a bad price.
It's a little high, but it's supply and demand, you know, they're busy, they're asking for a little bit more, because if they're gonna take time out of their day to come do these things, they're gonna make us pay for it.
The one company we contracted, we done business, he said he's 3 months out.
Okay.
Because of all the storms
been a
and the
lot of-
flooding.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're in the tree business right now, not busy, something's not
Something's wrong.
Yeah.
So,
How much does a stump grinder cost?
I have no idea.
It doesn't sound like fun to you?
It can be dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, typically, we don't end up with that big of a one.
Yeah.
That was a very large vehicle with the storm took out.
Okay. And I'm assuming it's in the village right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More than,
That's big.
more
More
than,
than.
more than half, so. How's that sound?
Okay. Well, I make a motion we approve the bid from Thurston Logging to cut
Support?
and grind the stump.
I'll support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 And opposed? Accepted. Lot line adjustment.
It's confusing.
Did everybody get it color? In color?
I'll tell you why it confused you, because this was at the planning commission. I told Hart I've never seen such bad diagramming in my whole life, you know, so poorly identified and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know if somebody was in a rush that day, I'm talking about this thing. Usually when we get something from Spicer's, it's, you know, very,
Well,
very specific, huh?
This was Rob Kehoe on Spicer paper, that's why it was.
Oh, that's why that's
Yeah.
how.
This is a notepad.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have these notepads at home. I can do one of these for you.
Well, you've got to do a
Maybe
better
better.
job.
So this is the haunted house and the water tower, and I'd like
Oh,
to,
is that what that,
I'd like
okay.
to split them up, for the time being, before we look at maybe joining, the water tower with the lot to the left, which is ours. I do have future ideas on the haunted house and perhaps selling it to them and taking that $1 million liability off of their insurance.
I can tell everybody, this was, planning commission approved that, thought it was a good idea.
I think it's a great idea. I think we should donate it to them.
Yeah,
I do too. I mean, when you gonna sell?
But yeah, get that water tower away from there first.
Get it in their name and so we can draw it, get taxes on it.
No, we wouldn't even, they're
Not
probably a
probably.
tax-free,
There's C, ain't there?
they're a tax-free organization. I
Yeah,
believe.
C.
Okay, so you draw that one line across and that gives us this really weird,
Mhm.
cause that's a road right away through there, right?
It used to be.
Yeah.
With it.
It's
Yeah.
not anymore. You remember that was,
I
That
think
was
we
closed
we
off.
abandoned it.
yeah, because it was, yeah, it belongs to the property owner now.
I know the south has been abandoned.
Did they split it?
I don't know how they split it up, but I know the south part has.
That was Dennis Collison's house.
Right.
Yeah.
That was, there was a little roadway, I remember that, and anyway, it wasn't used very much, and the guy was, whoever lived in the house, people who lived in the
Back
house
in the
were
day,
very
we kinda
unhappy
used
with
to-
it, so, anyway, it was abandoned and it's their property now.
And ours.
Hmm?
And ours. They split it down the middle and we each get half.
Oh, okay.
That's
I
what
just-
happens.
I just remembered there's no more road there.
Yeah, you're right, Diana, because we did the road survey, that wasn't even on there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, so you're looking for what? Permission to do this?
Correct.
Okay.
My guess, based on, I talked to Roger Mahoney at Spicer, he said it'd probably be $300 to $400 to
Yep.
do the description. So if you wanna make a
I'll make a motion that we do that.
lot line adjustment not to exceed $400 or,
It really doesn't matter if we
Yeah.
wanna do it.
Better get them. I'll second.
So you support, those supporting it?
oh, officially.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. St. Charles Hometown Days, you have a proposal for that?
Was there some reason I got two of these?
Like
here?
this?
That was just what they had sent over, so
Oh, okay.
I just had
They
printed it off
discharged
and.
the same.
But
Okay.
it's like their
Okay,
plan,
fine.
their plan and the people.
Yeah, but I got two of the same paper.
Oh, I need
okay,
to.
too, thank you.
Yeah, I just wondered if there's something.
That must have,
okay.
she must have just attached the same thing twice then.
Okay. I just wondered if I missed something. Which would not be unusual.
So this is the October 3rd one then?
Correct.
Yeah.
And since this has happened at the DDA meeting, Bears has gotten on board, and that's the only one I've heard from since that day. So they are in support.
No hardware, huh? I mean, I can understand the pharmacy, they're closed, I think they only open half a day that day. And not closed.
Kind of funny, the Subway wouldn't be.
Subway.
Yeah. Now, we're sure we can have these events with everything that's going on with the COVID thing?
I think we're back up to 100 people outside and 6 feet and masks.
You don't think there'll be more people than that?
The Rebel Magnolia one, I'm a little uncertain on. The farmer's market and this one, I'm pretty sure. Because those
Okay.
people just come and go.
Right.
They're not there for normally more than 15 minutes, maybe a half an hour, but I'm not sure about this Rebel Magnolia one. That's what we're gonna ask about them, of them on Friday. 'Cause I don't know what to expect.
I didn't either until I heard more about it. No, this sounds good as long as we can allow it to go on.
I think I'll be fine.
Okay. It's a big area.
Yeah, I mean,
DDA
and it's,
already
it's, a-
approved it,
And,
right?
well, we should allow them to close off the street. Is that what we're supposed
That's
to do?
what I'm looking for, yes. And, you know, with Don's permission too, of course, but. Who's on call that weekend?
Kind of important to get the DPW involved, yeah.
Well, they have to put up the barriers.
No, I said it is kind of
Yeah.
important, yeah.
Oh, to get them involved, gotcha.
I talked with Jason about this, so I think he'll be on vacation for maybe for this one?
The one with the,
The one at Rebel,
right,
yeah, so,
But that's in the park.
yeah, so Bart is aware.
yeah, whoever's on call will take care of it,
Well,
So that's just one block, basically, right? That you're gonna close off?
2 blocks
Or two?
or 1?
Just one,
Just one block.
The big one.
the main one.
so, yeah, that makes it much easier. And less congested, I guess.
Well, I think it lets them get to what few parking places we have
Right,
too.
they can, it flows better downtown when you only close the one block.
Yeah. Well, I make a motion, we allow them to close the, what would it be, the 100 block of South Saginaw?
We have a motion on, do we have support?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Diane.
Diana.
Diana.
Diana, I'm sorry, Diana. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Next one's the village office and waterfalls signs.
Yeah, I really think the 2 village office signs need to be upgraded. I wanted a quote on Waterfall Park. I think that's a little expensive. I feel we could probably wash it off, clean it off a little bit for now. Because it is a newer sign, which is not the newer material. But I think if we clean that up, it'll look fine. But these 2 at the entrances are pretty shabby.
so you're just talking about the 280 then,
Yes.
for right now?
Yep.
I'm all for it.
Well, is the Waterfall Park sign, is it bigger?
It's bigger. It says less, but it's bigger.
Don't you think they should all look the same?
They don't sit next to each other.
Don't
I
they?
mean, we
Where is the
can.
Waterfall Park sign? Down at the, by the bridge?
Yeah, on the corner.
Okay.
It don't matter,
Out in the middle of the lot, yes.
In the middle, okay.
yeah, if we want them all, then do them all, but if we can clean the other one up and it looks nice.
I was gonna say, do you think you can clean it up and make it look
I
nice?
think we're actually looking at it, and the paint is actually peeling off of it.
He says it's the old material, but
See, once you put that new stuff up, you don't do anything to it.
Right.
the weather handles the weather a lot
Is it
better.
worth the time of cleaning it up?
Not if the paint's coming off it.
It's Dunzo.
And it faces west too, that's the bad thing, it's all that, so.
Well, then let's do them, let's do them.
I think we should just do them both, get it
Or
done.
3 of them, all 3 of them, yeah.
3, yeah, all 3 of them.
All right,
Your motion?
I'll make a motion.
All
I'll
3?
support. Yes, all
Supported by
3.
Chris Newman. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion's carried. Make it so-
In the scheme of things, it's really not that much money.
Well, that's the cost more in labor.
Well, I know, but one minute you're talking a $5 million project and you're squibbling over $300.
My dad had a lecture on that.
I don't-
Watch
I
a
don't-
penny. No.
I had one of those dads too, yeah.
Did we all?
And we were on
Yeah, our
TV
age
very well,
group
yeah.
all did.
Okay, let's move on to departmental reports.
Uh-uh.
DPW report. Anybody
Oh,
want to?
you go
I was a
first.
little shocked about the lightning strike, you know. Did that do any other damage?
I just took out about $800 worth of equipment at the water tower.
Oh, my gosh.
Stopped my phone from working.
That was, there was two different incidents that we
Was
had.
there?
The first incident that took your phone out actually took out the way the system works, the meter pit and the tower talk to each other.
Yeah,
And if they can't talk to each other, we're down.
yeah,
The first incident was the AT&T tower was
Okay.
down for 2 days, and those radios worked on AT&T SIM cards only, so the tower was kinda limping by, cause it must have been closer to another tower south of here, it could somewhat get communication.
So on 52 and 57.
But the meter pit was right under the tower on the north end of town, that was dead in the water, and
really?
yeah, for 2 days, and come to find out, I guess a mouse chewed some wires. But there was, for 2 days, there was no AT&T service.
No, and I only noticed it because mine's a wireless outfit.
Mhm.
It's not a hooked up landline AT&T.
Took them all that amount of time to find out actually what was going on, but it put it to us. We-
I had to talk to a guy out in Washington to, find out why it wasn't working, and he goes, just take it to your other house, it'll work fine. I said, okay. It did.
The actual lightning strike on the tower took out, there's a radio and a sensor, and of course, it's all
Okay.
specialized equipment, has to come out of Georgia, and it happened Friday night at midnight, you know.
Of course
how
it
that
does.
goes, so. But we learned a lot, so
Is it, covered by insurance, a lightning strike?
I don't know what's our deductible, I don't know.
I don't think it's within deductible, maybe.
But the good thing now is we actually have spare parts if something
Okay.
happens. Which we didn't have before.
So it's good.
Okay,
And we actually got some assistance from the city of Saginaw to help limp us by. They had some parts that kinda made it work
okay,
until, so I think we built some good relationships there, so.
that's good.
They sent actually an electrician out and to look at what was going on, see if they could help us, so. Those were two separate incidents, so. It's no fun to go on manual control when you gotta turn it on and off. and all
Oh,
that.
no, I bet not. And the 133 Sunview, that's my daughter's house and it worked. So thank them very much.
I will, I'll let them know.
Any other questions? Or comments?
Concerns?
Move on.
Wait a minute, who's cleaning the porta potty daily?
Me and Jason swing by there every morning and kinda give them a tuning up. They're clean.
Okay, you're not emptying them, you're just
No, we're
wiping
just
them down a little bit.
Lysol and wipe them down.
Okay,
and give them a-
gotcha.
Yeah, we're
I
not,
was gonna say, doesn't that company come out and do that?
no, they do it, but they're not gonna do that on a daily basis.
No, okay,
And so far, we've really had minimal complaints.
good.
Are you still holding, since you're down one employee, are you still, is it bad?
We're getting by, we have a grass cutter now, that helps, but, it's, I know we've had conversations, but we're doing what we can, we could use another person, but we also don't know what's gonna be the outcome of what's going on with that employee that's sick right now, so. And the thing of it is, we could possibly have somebody retire here within a year or two, and it takes a
Well,
couple.
he can really go anytime he wants,
Right,
can he?
Right,
So,
but the
yeah,
feeling is a year or two.
Okay.
And it takes a couple years to get someone familiar with your system, I mean, there's a lot of things that even you might work in the industry, but every system is unique, and like that lightning strike on the tower, you just can't have somebody, it's not rocket science, but you still
Yeah.
gotta know what you're doing, and you start messing with things like that. So, that's, I guess that's where we're at, and I know Hart and the council, I think, started having maybe some conversations, so.
Anything else?
No, but did I see where we were gonna, didn't I, or did I talk to you on the phone? Maybe I talked to you on the phone. Okay, never mind. I was
Let's
just
move on
wondering
to,
about an extra guy.
let's move on to the police department report.
I do need to add that Julie received, Chief Church received her second certificate of recognition for assisting on a cardiac arrest save earlier this year.
Good for you.
hand you have around.
Yeah, because of COVID, we were unable to have our annual banquet, but I still wanna get the certificate to you, so this came in this week. Truly appreciate your assistance on these calls.
Oh, wonderful.
What
Good
does
job.
this mean?
Oh, LKI, it means leadership by example. It's a Hawaiian word, so I love Hawaii and I love going to try and go every couple of years, and it's just something that, I picked up the last couple of years is just to lead by example, and that's what that
Okay,
means.
that's cool, okay.
It's LKI, you know.
So things are starting to open up a little bit at the county and jail.
Yeah, at the prosecutor's level and really just at the level of kinda all the wheels starting to turn. You know, when the system stops at the core of the prosecutor's office, it makes things, it's a big cog in the wheel to,
Okay,
to stop the machine from working, so it's been a process of just trying to, and these are the times it's great to be law enforcement and community policing where you can kind of connect with people and, really make some community time, but there's no bite, you know, I can pull people over and ask them to slow down and get to meet them and make some conversations, but not a lot of tickets or anything being written. We just had a chief's meeting today as well, and they're seeing a lot of the consequences to that, and they're like, we're gonna pick back up to, you know, putting some bite behind, you know, some of those things, which means, you know, actually writing some tickets and doing some more, getting things done at the prosecutor level. So, yep, so that's just starting, and the good thing is we've kinda had an opportunity to get some real groundwork done as far as, FTOing and getting new hires, and we've got 5 interviews tomorrow, so,
Okay.
A lot of the groundwork to get to, add some people to the department, we've had an opportunity to do that, so that'll all roll out in this next month, we'll see a lot of change, and then we'll get back to business, so.
Good job. Crazy time, don't you think?
Yeah, quite astonishing. I just know, like Gabe said in there, boy, we're dealing with a lot more just mental health issues, and we're seeing just a lot of that come up, and you can imagine.
I can see it, my, granddaughter went back to school and she said, it's just so depressing. She said, we're not by each other, we can't talk to each other, we just pass in the hall, they have to carry all their stuff the same day, there's no backups allowed. They only have 3 classes, they're each 2 hours long, and she's a senior, and she hates it, but she gets to play volleyball, so
Yeah.
she's happy with that.
Yeah, the effects have just been just
Horrible.
staggering.
I can't see that it's gonna get better for a while either. I just feel it's gonna get worse and worse
In
and
the
worse
fall
before
again.
it gets better, yeah.
Well, every time
Yeah,
it gets
yeah.
better, it'll spike again.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think with all these little kids going back to school, you know, if one kid's got it, you know, you might as well consider the whole elementary school to have it. And it just, you know, I think it's just gonna be bad.
It's gonna be bad.
So the big thing up this week is, President Trump's coming to, Tri-City Airport, and they kinda made a call, I don't know, Berg's gonna go to that and be a represent over there, but should be a big, a deal over there, so we'll see how that impacts. It's gonna impact obviously that area, but there's just gonna be a draw to law
Wasn't it
enforcement
coming
being
today?
available tomorrow,
Tomorrow.
yeah, so.
They're expecting 5,000 to 6,000.
No.
Well, I tell you what,
To
they've been over there all the
20,000.
time.
Yeah, they're selling tickets
All
up to
day.
20,000, so.
Well, that's horrible.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
just crazy.
That is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so
Selling
that's gonna
tickets
be
to
the
see
big
our
thing this
president.
week, we're
You
gonna
know,
kinda.
no,
What is it
Yeah.
now? What kind of event?
I
It's
think you're
just Trump. Trump's flying in,
Oh, okay,
to
alright.
Tri-City, to
Yeah.
Tri-City Airport, yeah,
I
so.
got one of these little
doing his
fire
talk there.
radios, and that thing's been going on over there all day. All day long. Them guys been over there trying to get things together, sort things out, get the guy out of here with his big truck, you know? It's just unreal the things that they're going. I mean,
Just to get ready.
yeah, I thought he was coming today.
Any other questions on, or any questions on that?
Mm.
No, you're doing a good job.
Yep, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Find that other person.
Find
Yeah.
that other person, oh yeah.
Yeah,
I told him we got 3 that I know I'm hopeful about, and we may even have 5, so we might have to,
sort things out.
Find somebody that'll work.
they might have some good picks here, some options coming up, so.
Scott, you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna put you on speaker if the board has any questions.
Okay.
Hi, Scott.
Hello, everyone.
Alright.
We're reading just a moment.
No, it looks good to me.
How about our favorite place over there on Chestnut Street? With the one with the knee-high grass.
710.
That's the old, which is,
There's parking there.
It said resolved, owner has appointment with, oh, that's
else.
something else.
that's the,
631,
yeah.
Yeah.
6:32.
okay, I can hit them with another tall grass letter.
Was that, are we, hopefully we're sending it to the owner, right?
Correct, I send out 2 copies, one to the occupant, one to the owner. It appears to be vacant, so,
It is, it
I don't
was
know.
about a month ago.
okay. When the rental properties are, I always send out 2 copies, one to the occupant, one to the owner.
Okay,
But with it being vacant, I'll only send one to the owner.
all righty.
How's it going with the group on Lake Shore Drive?
Well, I think after my last discussion with Brian LaFrance, I don't know that he's gonna withdraw, but he understands hunter harassment. And, the other gentleman, the owner of the property in question, the owner of the pond, he is at his wit's end, he's ready to call his attorney. And get action against Mr. LaFrance.
Okay.
So we don't have to be.
I wish you luck with that one.
Thank you. He hasn't broken any village or township ordinances that I can go after, so
No.
it's a DNR project at this
Now,
point.
do you work for the township too?
Yes, same position.
Okay.
But,
So it's your problem no matter what?
yes, it is.
Okay.
Good answer.
I wish you luck.
Thank you.
Oh, he can do it. If anybody works for the city of Saginaw, you know.
Oh, but you don't know, you've never dealt with Brian LaFrance before.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we had to go with Fred.
I don't know the other guy, so, the coin guy. I don't have any other questions, doing a good job as far as I'm concerned.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is Chris, by the way.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah.
Thanks, Scott. I
Thank
don't
you.
believe there's any other questions, so we'll depart with you.
All right, thank you, sir.
Have a good evening.
Thank you, you too.
Well, that's a handy little phone you got there.
Yeah.
Just like everybody else's, isn't it?
Let's go, President, we can talk to him a little minute?
Same as, just a little bit.
No, but that works good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Put it underneath that microphone.
Okay,
Good, okay.
where we at here? That was the building inspector. Do I hear a motion to file all the reports, accept and file? Do we have to do that?
I don't think so.
Just file?
Don't have to do anything. We just look at them.
Yeah. All the reports have been reviewed, and we'll file.
Yeah.
Sure.
There you go. Okay, at this time, we will, what do we do, adjourn and go into closed session?
We have to have a motion.
Entertain a motion.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we close the regular meeting and that we go into closed session for the purpose of evaluating the village manager.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
Can we just kick people out that are here then?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
we're
just
gonna stay
these two,
here.
they'll leave.
Yep.
So we need to turn off our microphones?
Oh,
No, we are, okay.
All right, so we're back, we're doing negotiations right now.
Right.
I'd like, before we get anywhere, to recognize that you took the initiative to take a lower pay immediately when we started. I'd like that to be recognized.
Mm-hmm.
With the job that you've done
Absolutely.
and everything you've had to put us through, or not put us, or pull us out of it, pull us through.
and everything
Pull us
you
through.
put us through.
Yeah. Let's turn that off and redo it again.
Hold us.
Put us through
Yeah,
was
I'd
the
like-
other guy.
I'd like to, make sure that's recognized.
I agree with you.
Yeah. So what is it that you would like?
I would like a longer term contract. I was thinking 3 years. Obviously, I'm still at will, so you can get rid of me at any time. I would like to keep, should you get rid of me, the 90 days pay, 90 days insurance. As far as salary, I'd like 60,000, which was the first number discussed last year. Before, maybe, I think you were still paying Dennis, you were still paying Matt until January, and so I think there was some reservation there, and understandably so.
And how much money did you say you would like?
60,000.
And that's what we had discussed
And I
originally.
think
Yeah,
that's,
that was the
That's what we were gonna
negotiation.
pay him when he got here.
Yeah.
yes,
Actually.
yes, and I think that's, a good amount. I
Yeah.
really do.
And so also the 90 days, what is it right now?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Is it?
No
Okay.
change, I'd just like to keep it.
Okay. And you want a 3-year contract?
Yes, sir.
And we have to go.
Can I
to-
tell you what I wrote down just for the heck of it?
Yeah, this is gonna be good.
I put, he would immediately, go to 60, because that's what we had offered, and that would be
Mhm.
right now.
Yes.
And then he would not get a raise in this coming April, but rather go through till April of 2022 and get a 2% raise, just like everybody else gets. And the same thing at the end of 2023, a 2% raise. And that would lock him into a contract, for 3 years, but then I think, because there's gonna be new people, at least one, we should continue the evaluations.
Well, I think we should every year.
Yeah, I thought every year.
Yeah.
But when I talked to Hart at one time, he thought twice a year was even better.
I like it twice a year for myself. I always
Okay.
request twice a year.
So then I wrote down, with a 6-month evaluation in October and April of each year.
Yeah. The first one in like the October, June. Is that what you said? What did you say?
October and April.
Okay, yeah, April.
October,
Mine are in April.
November, December,
Yeah.
January, February, March, April, that'd be 6
Yeah.
months.
So one of them, the mid-year, would not be as,
It It could be with suggestions.
Yeah,
and-
more of a
and what-
suggestion, it's not as elaborate.
And I think it'll help him read the new people
Yeah.
and what they're looking for.
Yep. Yeah, I like that.
That's what I wrote down.
It's good, this will have to be redone by
Yeah.
the lawyer, right?
I could make the corrections to, and run it by him as far as just, I would update just section 1, see section 1, and then,
Like the term.
because he did this, so
Right.
I'm going off of his document, where the few changes I would make would be, whereas the village desires to appoint employee as an at-will employee to the position of village manager for the term provided in section 1, so then you can see section 1 rather than an indefinite term. So I would use his copy and make very minimal changes, just updating the numbers, dates, and that
And
would.
then run that back by the next meeting just for total approval.
Yeah, because it ends September 30th, so I would
Yeah,
get
we
it
would have
sooner
this-
than that.
Whatever we say tonight kicks in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cause we want this done.
But this document was the one that you put together with Mr.
Gary
Campbell.
Campbell, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
The same job duties and descriptions.
So you realize why you were not given a term contract in the beginning?
Correct,
Okay.
correct.
All right.
Yep.
I'll go for all of that, to get the language and get to actually look at the document as amended. You know, before it's actually totally finalized. I don't know
Right.
if I just say something until I see that document,
I agree.
okay? Is that okay?
Yeah.
I mean, we
But the
could put
numbers
it in
don't-
effect now and still sign it in,
Right.
October and
Right, I
still.
want it in effect now.
It can be in effect now, yeah, but just
Yeah.
to see the actual document before,
You want it to go to 60, yeah, it would be right now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cause this one ends September 30th, so.
And you're happy with that?
Yes.
All right.
Are you all happy with that? I thought you might
That's-
want
Yeah.
to do more.
I
Okay.
think it's
That's
good.
what I was waiting to see, yeah.
Okay,
That gives
Yeah.
him the 3 years that he's asking and the 60,000. I think that's more than, we should be.
but all it does is it gives him the 3 years with pay defined.
Yes,
It doesn't get
stability.
rid of, somebody could fire him, somebody could, that's always in there.
yeah.
He's an at-will employee,
No, I think you've more than proven
absolutely.
yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah,
And I'm assuming you don't want an old police car, you'll continue with the mileage part?
I will continue. I thought about asking for the Tahoe. I was gonna ask for mileage, but I everything's Zoom now. I'm not going anywhere. All my meetings are online, which is good and bad. So then I thought about adding it in future years, but there's no certainty on what that's.
Well,
gonna
isn't
look like.
mileage in here?
It is that it says, I believe, employer at its discretion shall provide with either mileage reimbursement for business-related travel at the then current Internal Revenue Service rate, or otherwise provide with a retired police vehicle.
Right.
So we touched on it last year briefly, but everything was so raw and new in 1 year and the money, and we didn't really go too much further.
then let's bring it up. As the economy picks up, more meetings, more personal, you're gonna be meeting more and more as it picks back
Well,
up.
the mileage
It
is,
opens up.
it's there, and I think it's something he can charge. Now, if he doesn't wanna use his personal vehicle, you can come back to the council and say, can I have a police car?
Okay,
Because the police car does include the insurance that goes with it, so
Yep.
you can eliminate, well, you still have a car, so
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
doesn't eliminate that.
No,
I always thought the mileage went well. I mean, they pay well for mileage, so.
So you have so he has the ability to do that, though, to
I
charge
think
mileage.
we've given him,
I've done it once for 1 quarter, and then COVID hit really.
so nobody's
So
going.
I think it's a total of $125. So,
Oh, can we afford that?
Well, if we can't afford that sign, we can't afford the $125.
How about 5.2 million?
let's,
Where those signs in?
so I would like to look at the Tahoe as not necessarily a personal vehicle, but as my work vehicle. That if I run home, I take it home. I'm within my MCL,
Yeah, you can take it home, but you
50
can't
bucks.
take it on a trip.
No, it'd
Okay.
be like a work vehicle, like as a
Yeah.
detective sergeant takes his work vehicle home, his wife can't touch it.
Right.
Sure.
That's the thing.
I always thought the ones here were the
I
ugliest cars in
bet
the
your
world,
wife
so.
would just die in the truck. Yep.
Do you wanna give me your?
Can't hardly wait, huh?
Honeymoon's over, don't worry.
Yeah, listen, Hart, I didn't sign up for this.
Okay, Jenny was noting it, so I didn't think about that, but yeah.
The evaluation?
Yeah, I'm gonna have them go down and around and, or just leave them.
I just leave here.
I need this.
Thanks.
All right, so what do we do now? We need a
We need a motion to approve, we need a motion with those numbers in it.
Yeah.
Chris?
Do that, Chris.
Are they going
Do that.
Chris's way, are they?
Well, they're just
I
going to the
can't reach
pile.
too far.
So
I'll walk around and grab them
Did we-
afterwards.
Hand that to her.
Did you pass that?
Do we have Jim's? Okay,
One page.
right there, that's good.
So it would be the employment agreement with the terms September 9th, 2020 to September 30th, 2023. $60,000, and that's the only changes we made to Mr. Campbell's.
Actually, it's actually a 4-year agreement, because 2023, I've got in here, you're still getting 2%.
01, 02.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you're going around, so.
Yeah, I'm going around again.
So we did.
So it's actually through April 1st of 2024. If that's okay with all of you people.
Yep.
It's weird not having a budget calendar in March, April, and then you have your calendar year, and then you got the state budget September,
Well,
and
this will
October.
get you into the calendar year too.
Yeah.
It does, I mean, it gets you into the fiscal year.
Yeah. That makes way more sense.
Who's making the motion here?
Do you want, okay, I make a motion that for wages, we do an immediate hike to $60,000, which will run until the year, to the year beginning, April 1st, 2022, at which time, Hart will get a 2% increase. And then on April 1st of 2023, he will get a 2% increase. With 6-month, semi-annual evaluations beginning next April and running April and October each year. Did
Pretty
you get
good.
that, Jenny?
Is there support for the motion?
I'll support.
Roll call?
Lois Tiley,
Yes.
Diana Coops,
Yes.
Chris Newman,
Yes.
Richard Horner,
Yes.
Diane Dennis,
Yes.
Jim McPhail,
Yes.
and Sarah Tiley.
Yes.
She's a long ways away.
Was there anything else in here that we changed?
No.
The Tahoe.
The Tahoe.
Well, the
But that-
Tahoe to
but
use
that
a
was
police
included,
car,
isn't it?
Yeah,
but that's in here, it's just not enacted.
Okay.
correct.
So he'd have to come to the council to switch to Tahoe.
What's that now?
Well, he can do mileage now, and when he wants a vehicle,
Okay,
he's just gonna have to come in, cause it's in his contract.
all right.
So he could come in and say he wants to, I mean, that's at our discretion.
Yeah.
That's what that's like.
So you have to come and get our discretion, you
So
know what I
I,
mean?
yep, liability, property.
I think that's how it reads.
Okay.
If employer chooses the latter,
Vehicle.
employer shall be responsible for paying the liability, property damage, and comprehensive insurance, and for the operation, maintenance, and repair of said vehicle.
Yep.
So it's either or, but it's not even, actually, it's just or.
Well, either you're gonna take mileage, or you get the car with all
Yeah.
the stuff. The insurance is.
Because we had a situation where somebody was doing both.
Yeah.
Very confusing.
I think he wanted to drive his good car down to the meeting.
So is there anything else?
We had public comment, right? Isn't that it?
This is the public.
I have no public
No,
comment.
Public- I have a public comment.
Nobody's got anything? Make motion that we adjourn.
I'll support.
Support? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion Motion is carried. It's been a pleasure seeing all you